Moving on now, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky yesterday in Kyiv for the first time since the war began. Joining us now for more on what this means, Ukrainian Member of Parliament Rudik back with us this morning. She is joined by former Air Force Brigadier General, NATO advisor and Newsmax contributor General Blaine Holt. So nice to have you both back on. Kira, it's great to have you back. We haven't had you on in quite some time. The war now in month number 15 and counting. What's the situation in Ukraine right now?
Hey, Rob, thank you so much for having me. Well, we are getting ready for a spring counteroffensive. There was snow in Kyiv 3 weeks ago, so we are still in this early spring where it is very hard to fight. So we are waiting for all the political promises being delivered, and then we deliver those promises to the front in the way of weapons, in the way of supplies. It's incredibly important to have Jens Stoltenberg here in Kyiv because he made this critical statement saying that Ukraine does belong in NATO and that all the NATO members agreed that we will be joining NATO sometime. It's an important promise and gives us look forward and ability to hope that one day we will get the security guarantees that we need and we will be able to be a part of NATO family, which we honestly are working as if we were right now.
Yeah. General, I want to ask you about that. Former U.S. advisor to NATO, that was a position that you held proudly. Stoltenberg says, as you just heard Kira say, that Ukraine joining NATO is important right now. He could have done this before the war began, by the way. But what's your reaction to that? And is now the appropriate time for Ukraine to join NATO?
Well, it's great to see you this morning. Great to be on with Kira again. I would say that it's very important that the Secretary General came down for these affirmations with Ukraine. The timing is not appropriate right now, and I think that everybody understands if you brought in a member that's in an active war into NATO, you wouldn't really have the votes because everybody understands they'd be signing up for Article 5 immediately, and what that means. Article 5 is an attack on one, is an attack on all, brings everybody into the active war.
Right.
However, it is extremely important and of great value for the Secretary General to make an affirmation like that, because it actually applies pressure on the Kremlin to say, hey, look, the West is still behind Ukraine. Not only is that true, but we're about to expand the NATO border. You would do well to start to reconsider your options based on what we've seen on the battlefield so far.
Kira, your reaction to that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we understand that after we win the war, we would need a new security structure for Europe and for the whole democratic world. And Ukraine is a part of that security structure. And this is why, Putin said that he started the war to stop NATO from expanding. Well, he failed in it. Look, 2 more countries joined NATO, and now we have this important affirmation that Ukraine will be also a part of NATO one day.
General, there was a report that came out earlier this week. Sergei Lavrov says that Russia is apparently interested in ending the Ukraine conflict as soon as possible. Do you buy that?
I buy that there is a whole lot of pressure in Moscow right now from all directions for them to off-ramp this war. I think the sanctions, we can all debate about whether they've had effect or not, but politically, the Russian people are ready for this war to be over as well. What I would like to see is the West pack up their stuff and let's get to tables without preconditions and start talking about what an off-ramp to the war would look like. That is responsible thinking. Even if we get nowhere, we need to see the diplomacy. We should take Lavrov up and pressure him on that comment.
Okay, Kira, you tweeted a day ago, quote, hoping talks could stop Putin from invading Ukraine didn't work a year ago. Actually, this strategy has never worked. It only drags the war into years and years on. When do you see, and I asked you this same question almost a year ago to the day, when do you see this war ending? Seriously.
If we get enough of weapons and supplies, this year we will try to push Russia as far as possible from our territories. And then we will be in much better position to start some talks. So it is critical right now not to look like and saying like any dates, but saying what we can do right now. And right now we are getting ready to push them away from our territories and liberate our people. This is our main goal right now, because we see that promises of talks and talks are never getting us anywhere. And the main question would always be, what is our way and guarantee to make sure that Russia would not attack again? And this is principle. This is critical for all of us.
Kira, just quickly, if I could hold you to 10 seconds, please. How are people in Ukraine doing?
We are full of hope, and we know that we are fighting for the right thing. We know what we are fighting against, and we know that we will win.
Okay. General, just a quick one about Russian recruitment. They put out a video basically looking for strong, able-bodied men to join the Russian army. This was the video. They're basically looking for anybody to come fight in Ukraine right now. We're way past mercenaries and conscripts. What was your reaction to this as a military man?
Well, that this is a political issue for Vladimir Putin. It did not go well for him when he issued the last mobilization orders, and they're doing everything they can. This is evidence of that, to take on as many conscripts or volunteers as they possibly can. He does not want to issue another edict for a draft, and that will not go well for him or the Kremlin.
All right. Great having you both on. I hope you have a nice weekend. Kira, so nice to see you again. Look forward to having you back soon. Kira Rudik, General Blaine, Holt, thank you. We've